Hi guys, it's me, Jizzle again, and for this video that I will be dedicated to the month of Halloween, October in 2025, I shall be finishing up the Hostel trilogy. In this case, it's called Hostel Part 3. Yeah, surprise. It's called Part 3. Or in other words, Hostel New Vegas. Because that's where the scene takes place in Las Vegas. Now, I feel that Vegas is a good setting for this movie, but not in the hustle world, because when you think of the hostels, you think of like Eastern Europe or maybe even Central Europe. You don't think of Vegas with that. I'm sure they probably would thinking of a new location, spread to the world, make sure it's like a new branch of the hunters, elite hunters, and all that. But it just seems kind of too tight on, if you ask me. They should just keep it in Europe or some other country in Europe, somewhere else. A horror movie set in Las Vegas, an area of gambling and all the lovely ladies of the evening would have been a nice touch for this movie, for this type of movie, but I don't think it would be good for the hostel in general. That being said, in preparation for making this video, I went above and beyond for what I think is my favorite one in the series, obviously. So I put my mat here for the black table gambling, and I even put out very special my little chip setup over here too. That's for Double Down and a big bet right there, along with the movies. So you can tell that I put a lot of effort into this because this is the last show for the hostels. So I figured to do it. I'll do the Saw versus the Hostel movie next year, but yeah. This is kind of a special little thing for me, so I hate to see it go, and I don't want to see another reboot of these type of movies, because I believe that they were pretty succinct, as it were. They should just leave alone. Not that anyone want to see all the gore and all that stuff in a more modern sense, but yeah. So, along with this movie, if you've seen the other two, Hostel 1 and 2, you know that there are certain tropes that will be explored. And this movie actually takes those cases that I can think of two off the top of my head right now that turns on its head. I'll get to them when I get to them. But here we go. We first start out with watching these two people in a hotel room, in a hostel room, and the guy is played by Nicola Shelley. He plays Victor. For some reason, I like this guy a lot. He's very attentive, and he's very, he wants to see his girlfriend or wife, be returned to him. So he's a very dedicated person. and he also looks a lot like Vin Diesel. Now, also, you got Evelina Turin, which plays Anka. Now, I don't know if they're Ukrainian, but in the movie they refer to as Ukrainian. I don't believe that Victor's name is even mentioned once in the movie. I'm looking at the Wikipedia / the Google search for the names. I know that Victor always says Anka, because he wants his woman back, especially in the songs. But we never actually see what happened to Anka. So now, this guy comes into, let's see if he's in here. No, I don't see him in here. Maybe it's their car. Anyway, this American guy comes into the hostel room. Now, I'm sure that they probably have low rent hotel rooms in Las Vegas, but not for hostel quality, not of a hostel type environment, where you got like a communal bedroom and bathroom and all that. So it should be like a European type thing. So I don't know if they got them in the rest of the world, but they're known for being in Europe. So in any case, they have these two people that are obviously a couple, and they have this American guy that comes in. And the American guy looks a little bit like Paul Dano, which in turn means that he looks like my friend called Thomas, the guy who was a complete asshole to me. So I don't like him already by default. So anyway, they always portray the Americans as like the good guys in these movies, the heroes, as the ones that being abducted by Eastern Europeans. Not to be racist or anything, but yeah. So when they show this guy wanting to party with these two people, is very hesitant, for them beer. So the two European people take the beer, and then they'll go take a shower. Now, no matter how much you may want to do that, don't ever take beer from strangers. Don't ever take food or drink from strangers, because that's a really bad idea. Even if it is like sealed when they arrive, don't take it, as we will see soon enough. She eventually collapses on it in the shower, and followed by the big boyfriend, her husband, Victor, while the other guy is fine. Now, it's important to note that the guy doesn't take a drink right away, because he knows that it's probably is poisoned or not got used to it. And then he said, that everything's a go, green light. So he's in on the whole abduction thing of the innocent people and stuff. So this is kind of the first role reversal, if you will, because in the other movies, we know that whenever they have a group of people with like a free love type attitude, and the Eastern European people, they're usually the bad guys associated with the trafficking and the murder of thousands of people. Most notably, the higher paying American prizes, that Americans are the highest amount. I would imagine that there'd be agents probably next, followed by Europeans, and then I don't know what else it would be. Which also puts a bug in the plan of having this set in the United States, being that in Europe, Americans are kind of a rare thing, so they would be higher value targets for the people who will be hunting them down and whatnot. So, being that in America that's more common than the average person, than Europeans or anybody else for that matter, it would make sense to have this type of thing in Las Vegas in particular, maybe Canada or Mexico or some other Latin American country or whatever. I mean, not in America. That being said, they made a Hostel movie now, a Hostel 4. I'm sure that a lot of people would place high value on American target because of our president. We're not exactly the most popular people on the planet right now, so people will want to dispose of us better and quicker and more painfully. I'm just saying from my own experience in Canada and whatnot. So anyway, we then cut to Scott and Amy. They're about to have their wedding, and this guy is about to go on a bachelor party with his friend Carter and Fleming, Justin, and Travis. And his main guy is Scott, the hero. So they got to go into Vegas. Well, they're supposed to be going to Palm Springs in Florida, but Palm Springs it's not on the itinerary because Carter secretly wanted this bachelor party. And so Fleming is the big key to the Vegas branch of the elite hunting group. So anyway, they go to Vegas, and they go into like a secret warehouse where the guys are like supposed to go to a freaky party. Now here's where we get trope number. Well, I guess you could call it trope number 3, but the guy is blindfolded, put a bag over his head, and tied down to a chair, and then wheeled to a mystery area where he's fed upon with weird liquid being poured into it. Now we later realize that this is like a part of the bachelor party, and it's alcohol being poured into this funnel that'll be poured into the guy's mouth. But that's dangerous. When people do that parties, theoretically, I don't know, I've never been invited to any of those parties, but in TV, all people are supposed to be able to see what goes into their mouth. I mean, it seems pretty dangerous to have something like that with a blindfold over your face, like you will be waterboarded or something, towards your device or whatever. And it was also creepy that the doorman was a hostile lookalike. So at the end of this, they turned out that it wasn't really a bad thing. But one thing I noticed that Justin, the triple of the group, not really disabled, but uses a crutch in the movie, he's actually the most streetwise person in the bunch. And the thing is that he's how should I put this? He's rejected by most women over there because of the disability, which I find very it's sad but very accurate. That whenever he's at a bar or something, even though he's a good-looking guy, he took a turn at my women. No comment on the realism to that, but yeah. So anyway, it's like that. But then when the guy gets disappeared, let me see here, Mike in the posse, and now Mike ends up getting blind drunk, and he goes to I don't know whether it's a cab driver or somebody that's supposed to be like because we always look at the cab driver because he's a foreigner, a European guy, and he's looking at the three guys very suspiciously. I'm sorry, it was Travis. Well, these guys actually look kind of the same, so kind of hard to tell. But anyway, I'm gonna say Mike, because he was blonde in the movie. Yeah, Mike, being played by Skylar Stone, and Justin was played by John Hensley. So anyway, Blondie gets stone drunk and is put in with the next kill of the day, if you will. And what would he do with? They do like they have the guy step down. They have the guy that went to work, that went to cover him like a Christmas goose. And then behind that guy, they have like a curtain with like a glass shield. And then they have a bunch of people in it that sit and watch this shit happen. They watch people get tortured. They watch people get drunk and die and stuff. So who's sicker? The people that are watching this shit, or the people actually carving these people up, or massacring them slowly and painfully? Sometimes with kinds of bugs and shit too. So anyway, they have they have people actually in the audience that actually, besides getting off on watching people die and really get off on it, they show them making bets as to, how they're gonna die, what tool will that person use next or first, or how long it will take for that victim to die of whatever injuries they might have, or what use an excuse to get out of getting tortured to death will be, like my family, my boss, my whatever, I'll pay you whatever my money I got left in my account. Let me go free. It's Vegas, baby. Yet they have to have something that involves gambling, otherwise it wouldn't be complete. So anyway, the guy you look at, the guy doing operation like a doctor, like we expect to see from in the movie Dr. Caligari, or the guy from the Human Centipede, a mad scientist. Then he takes Mike's face off, and then he puts it on a little mannequin head next to him, which will remind me of what you would expect to see from Leatherface. Go Uncle Leatherface. So that's kind of funny. So I don't know what Mike died at first. the getting the blow loss or the shock of getting a facial dog. And then there are the people in the audience that they look at it like they got this one that's like a cyberpunk, a Japanese cyberpunk girl that will be right at home in the movie Ghost in the Shell. So anyway, they also have like it's like a show for them like rich people got a giveaway trip for burlesque or something that were scantily clad, but bartenders and all that, and waitresses and all that. Real good stuff, real family entertainment. And yeah, but like this movie is not meant for children at all. So then they end up going to Carter ends up setting up Scott with Lady of the Evening, which played by Nikki and Kendra, to played by Julie Haniel, if I pronounced that right, and Sarah Habel, especially. And they don't actually do anything because the little kids once would love Ames. Now, I gotta give points to this guy for not giving in to temptation. But, yeah. Anyway, in these movies, we are led to believe that prostitutes are the number one hunters, if you will, of the groups, in which the little unsuspecting men and possibly women to get drugged, to get poisoned, to get dragged away by bigger, stronger henchmen to the club. And that's another thing that they turn on their heads in this movie, because they don't. It turns out that Nick turned out to be one of the victims of the group, and actually the next one to die in this thing, because they have they have him they have her be strapped to a table, and then, well, first of all, the guy the same guy from the first part of the movie talks to her very sexy like and gets her into a chilly outfit. And the guy beforehand also smacks her in the face. And the guy that operates on her ends up spraying some sweet stuff into her mouth, to which attracts bugs into her mouth. So she ends up getting a bunch of cockroaches, big suckers too, like big cockroaches, dumped all around her body and stuff into the into this big table, and then they all end up going into her mouth, cutting off her breathing and probably grossing her out to the point that she pukes too. A lot like a Fear Factor episode, I remember. So she died, but everyone thinks she's still alive because the guy is very creepy in his wanton care for life and stuff. He takes a picture of a dead body and like caressing her and now painting her body and stuff until he finds a root coming out of her mouth. And he's like, ew, disgusting. I think that he cares more about the bug than he does about the girl, which isn't right. And we all children of the same Red Force. So she dies. You know, all the time, Victor's always crying out for his lover and all that, and they use catapults to try to get him away from the door of the cage, and they try to get Carter and Scott or in a room in a cage area, and same with Justin too. But it turns out that Justin ends up trying to whack the guy from before with his cane, which becomes useful actually for self-defense purposes. So the guy ends up knocking Justin out on his ass. And it's funny because even though he's crippled, even though he'll die in the process of whatever torture he has, you know, to the highest bidder and stuff, he takes King with him. I have no idea why he takes King with him, but maybe for some mental value or whatever, but he takes King with him for some reason. Although that will be a downfall, because eventually Scott breaks free and then beats the living shit out of the guy with the cane and chops off his arm with something else, with a butcher knife. So anyway, we also see that Fleming is like the head honcho of this branch of the elite hunting club, and it's like the big cheese. And Carter, it turns out, is like in with him as one of the best customers, the best clients. I don't know how they do that. I think it might be that the guy probably pays so much money and gives them so much business that by the time he reaches with 10th kill, 10th murder is free. Like, look at Subway sandwich. So anyway, it's just that he wants to kill Scott so that he can get in with Amy when he's dead, and she needs to control the crown because the best buddies, and that Justin and Mike were just by pure accident, you know. Carter didn't mean to kill either one of them. You know, Justin's a genuine guy. Mike is an asshole anyway. So anyway, what you do is with him is that they're like in the cage and it's my turn, and then he built to do, and he's like, you stupid jackasses, I'm the best customer here. So it turns out that it was a deal with him and Fleming to have all Leah to arrange everything, and that the women, Nikki and Kendra, after they look for him with X bonuses to cover the cost of making a special preferences for his friend and all that. You know, business transaction. So they have a Victor in there. We call him Grandpa Anka. Meanwhile, I believe that Anka is dead at this point. They don't really make reference to it all in the movie besides the first scene. So she's dead. Okay. And Victor accepts that, and he wants to take everybody down with him. But he gotta get out first. So during the whole process, they show that everyone's looking for Nikki, and then Kendra is also locked up. they're trying to become our next targets. And they actually have a very interesting thing with Justin and his death person is a woman dressed in a leather outfit, kind of like a Green Arrow with a crossbow. You could actually be seen as kind of mirror to what happened before at the bar, in which you're trying to pick somebody up, and you couldn't get it because he was disabled. But this girl had a set of arrows, and he killed them with 9 arrows, and could be seen like Cupid striking him with arrows of love, and right when she's about to give the coup de grace, the mercy kill, he whispers to her, it's okay to kill me. And I think she probably understands it because and she points the thing under his chin and pulls the trigger. Now up until this point, the guy's been pretty he's been taking it like a man pretty much. He's been taking 8 arrows from this woman and it's still fine. All over his body, over his chest area. So it's like, it's okay to kill me. Because both of them know that his life is difficult. Probably get even more difficult. Besides this problem. And that he wanted to end it right then and there by a beautiful woman. So she applied and killed him. So then it's time for Mr. Fleming to fulfill his promise to kill Scott. So Scott's offered in the high chair, and Carter ends up becoming his killer, and it's really good because Carter ends up giving like a big monologue about how much he loves to kill people and how it's a big thrill, and that when he lost the edge, kind of like in the second movie, but then he could kill his best friend and marry his woman, which is sadistic. But they end up doing this right thing with like look what they have here. They have these knife sets from Bloomingdale's, what's called Bloomies, and it's really quite funny the way he said that word. So anyway, to add a little extra to it, or just because maybe Fleming knew that Carter was an asshole, he sets him free. He sets Scott free in this whole thing before he can whip out the chainsaw into him. So, to his surprise, Scott is actually a pretty good fighter with a sword. He could match the chainsaw blow for blow, kind of like with the sheriff in Leatherface in the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which I love that way. So anyway, we looked at with that topper. So yes, he Carter kind of betrayed, and Scott ended up kicking his butt in, and literally chopping off the tattoo mark for the bloodhound, for the elite hunting group, and he used to touch his skin to get out of to skin and get out of there, out there. And then the guy from the first part of the movie, like, we gotta lose, kill him. Meanwhile, at this time, the guard is trying to get Victor. And I believe the name of the guy is Massa. He's played by Count Frank Alvarez. So meanwhile, the guy ends up trying to tease Victor to the hole in the gate. And then, Victor ends up grabbing the taser from the guy, shocking him, and then shoving it into his mouth and teasing him more that way. Really awesome. And then he gets freed out. And then he runs around and kills guards. Yeah. He wreaks havoc among them because he got nothing else to live for now that Uncle's dead. So he goes around killing guards. He should have been set people free, but whatever. So he ends up taking a gun, and then he takes an axe, and he destroys the power grid for the place. Now, when I made this video series, I want to do the axe over here for decoration. I didn't plan for it that it would come up first, but I will consider this to be Victor's signature weapon. We could use it to kill a guard who then used the shotgun to shoot Victor in the chest, killing both of them instantly. Number for Victor, color black over the whole building, and in the meantime, Scott finds a cell phone and uses it to call police, who don't actually come in to the movie. It takes them not long to find the police in a remote desert location. Of course, it's an unmarked building. So anyway, they have him, try to escape. All the prisoners are supposed to die. The guy kills that one guard that sent to kill everybody. Frees Kendra, but Kendra gets shot by that guy from the beginning of the movie with a laser weapon. And then he fights with Scott. He kills him with just a chain crutch, and cuts his arm, and throws it into the cremation fire, along with the dead body for Nikki. And that's that. And everyone was happily ever after that. No, Carter is assaulted by, Fleming is assaulted by Carter in his car as he's making an escape for no reason other than a sentence got free in the game there. A sudden death move, I guess. So, he's pissed off, and then just before he leaves, he knows that there's like a spike strip for anybody trying to escape, which I don't think was in the first two movies. But anyway, they have that, and then they also have where Carter still has a dead body to run over and make sure that he goes over the spike strips to drag Fleming's body over to the spike strip. And just before he runs him over, you see that he comes to, so he's not dead until Carter not only runs him over, but he also runs over him into spikes. So that's really how. Definitely for that in the morning. So as Scott is trying to run away on foot, since the building has like a self-destruct mode to get rid of any evidence of the copper for to track him down and then lead to the bigger investigation around the world. It's set up so that it explodes in like 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it takes. So Scott trying to get out on foot. Carter reaches the exit gate beforehand. He drives his car and in a dick move shuts the gate on Scott. Meanwhile, he wants to run away and get with the woman, even though he's a whoremonger himself. So anyway, you see him come out with like, no bastard and all this stuff. Meanwhile, then he ends up getting burnt to death. But so we think by the explosion. Now, by all accounts, he should be dead. And like a week later or something, then they show that he gets what he wanted, not what Scott was gonna have the wife forever and ever and ever. And then he's about to celebrate with the wife, with Amy, having put his head her head on his shoulder to cry and stuff, to give him the sympathetic ear. And then she goes over a bottle of wine and she jams the corkscrew into his hand, cementing it to the table. Meanwhile, Scott comes up behind him and says, "Guess who? Let's go finish up the bachelor party." So then both of them drag Carter down to the basement, and it looks like Scott really enjoys this whole torture and death thing, possibly more than Carter does. And they show him getting ready to kill him with a giant weed whacker or a killer. And I can't help but notice that when he does this, Amy's okay with this because he put a cord over her head and told her everything that happened, and she probably said, "Okay, let's kill the little bastard." So they end up killing the guy, but Kevin knows that when he does kill him, first of all, the cover that's screamed up with loud music on the radio or TV. And second of all, the killer goes right for the gonads, probably in revenge for what he was about to do to Amy and to himself and to Scott. Which, by the way, Scott looks just like a Two-Face in the Dark Knight trilogy by Christopher Nolan. So anyway, that's the end of the movie. With a fade to black as Carter dies. I like this movie a lot because it's set in Vegas. It's turned some tropes on its head about untrustworthy Europeans and hookers and party girls. And I like the way when Nikki was turned out by the awful sex for for payment, I like the way she was disappointed in that because she got paid for sex. Yeah. Normally, a girl or some other that would be enthused that she got paid $1,000 and not have to put up for sex. I get paid for nothing. I get paid for just talking to somebody. That's sweet for me. I don't have to do any work. Just grateful for a painful sex act, potentially. So, that's kind of weird. It's kind of like she wanted to have sex with the guy, somebody that she knew for only 5 minutes. And it's about that her own desire or whatever, but it's still pretty cool too. I like Victor. He should have got a firearm or something from one of the guys that he killed. I like it. You take away someone's love, you get the horns by that guy. And he will stop at nothing to destroy everything. I also like the whole gambling on every little detail of execution stuff. It would just been funny to me. They would go through all this for that kind of thing. Really funny, amusing. It reminded me of another movie where they did something similar where they bet on every single little thing. Not execution or anything. What the hell was the movie now? Yeah, Rat Race. They had a bunch of gamblers that were just so interested in gambling that they could bet on it. And any little thing to do with that situation. But that movie was rated G. This movie was not really G, but a long shot. And I don't think there was any nudity besides Miss Turin's behind. Anyway, it was nice to see this movie set in the same place. Although I think that it was kind of off-putting to have a hostel set in Las Vegas, an American city. I'm sure they got there, but it was so odd to sit there because you're for that type of thing. And to be careful over there, and much easier to disappear someone in Europe than in Las Vegas. So anyway, I thank you for watching my movie on one video on Hostel Part 3, New Vegas. I did this for I did this for my month of Halloween, October 2025. And I would give you my happy seal approval, but I can't. I might run the risk of moving something in, just putting my chips back there, my wooden chips. Anyway, I give it my first happy pizza approval. Might actually be my favorite one to see because even though she did die, there was no actual mutilation for the girl Nikki. There was only roaches, which maybe that's disgusting for some, but yeah, I would probably be disgusted, but it wouldn't be like that'd be like the least of a death, least gory. the whole face off thing was fun too. But it was gory. And let's see about the mm, I like the death of yeah, from the beginning of the movie. Like, you always want to see this guy die for all the evil that he committed, and you're like, please get him, please get him, please get him, please get him. Let's see here. I really like the way that the one guy in the beginning when Mike first died was that I forget his oh yeah, the guy looked a little bit like Alex Winter from the with Keanu Reeves with the telephone booth. The Fabulous Adventure movies. To me anyway. The doctor that was gonna do this was gonna drill his face in, and then he put the drill down for his couple, and then the guy that was banging on the drill, the laws of that were like, damn, I'm gonna smash my glass just because of it. That would be funny. That would be funny. I mean, the guy's a surgeon. What would you bet on a drill for his face-off routine? So anyway, if you guys like what you see here and you want to see more of my channel, like, comment, and share. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future videos and future information on the videos. Like, call me or text me at 631-707-3707, or you can follow me on Twitter at PMaslinPro, or my email is jjsviewchannel@gmail.com. So, let's look all you sadistic fucks there like me who like this kind of stuff. And the kills are always the best part of these movies with very little emphasis on the story or the characters involved. In the movie, we just see the killings and how creative they can be. The biggest gambling aspect is kind of weak and funny in my opinion, but its biggest, you gotta have something to do with casinos and gambling, even though it's not on the strip. Yeah, peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in Interland. Buenos noches. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao, ciao.